Whispers of wonder.
The Little Candle's Gift. In a quiet village where the nights were long and dark, there lived a tiny candle named Lumi. She sat on a wooden shelf in Mr. Oliver's little shop, surrounded by bigger, fancier candles. "I wish someone would pick me," Lumi sighed. "Even if I'm small, I just want to shine for someone." The other candles chuckled. "You? You're too tiny. People want big candles that last longer." Lumi felt a little sad but kept hoping. One evening, an old man named Thomas walked into the shop. He had a kind face but looked tired. "Good evening, Mr. Oliver," Thomas said, rubbing his cold hands together. "I need a candle, but I don't have much money." Mr. Oliver glanced at the bigger candles, then at Lumi. He picked her up and smiled. "This little one may be small, but she will shine bright for you." Thomas took Lumi home to his tiny cottage at the edge of the village. His house was cold, and the night outside was darker than usual. "This storm is fierce," Thomas muttered. "I wish I had more wood for the fire." He placed Lumi on a small wooden table and lit her wick. At once, her warm golden light filled the room. The darkness retreated, and Thomas sighed in relief. "Ah, much better," he said, sitting in his old rocking chair. "It's funny how such a small light can change everything." Lumi's heart swelled with happiness. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Thomas opened it to find a young boy, drenched from head to toe, shivering in the cold. "Sir, my name is Eli. I got lost in the storm," the boy said, his teeth chattering. "Come in, child," Thomas said, pulling Eli inside. He wrapped the boy in a warm blanket and placed him near Lumi's glow. "Thank you, sir," Eli said. "Your light was the only thing I could see in the darkness." Lumi's flame flickered with pride. She had helped someone. As the night passed, Thomas and Eli talked by Lumi's warm glow. Eli was an orphan, traveling alone to the next town, hoping to find work. Thomas listened and nodded. "You can stay here, lad," Thomas said. "I could use some help around the house, and no one should be alone in the cold." Eli's eyes lit up. "Really? That would be wonderful." For many nights, Lumi burned, bringing light and warmth to both Thomas and Eli. Each time her wax melted, she grew smaller, but she didn't mind. One evening, as Lumi's flame flickered gently, she overheard Thomas and Eli outside. They were building something together. "You know, Eli," Thomas said, tightening a wooden frame, "if it weren't for that little candle, you might not have found your way here." Eli smiled, holding a glass pane. "And if I hadn't come here, I wouldn't have found a home. That tiny light changed everything." Thomas nodded. "That's why we're building this lantern. A small light can guide someone lost in the dark, just like Lumi did for you. This will hang outside our door, so no traveler will ever have to be alone in the night again." That evening, Thomas placed the lantern outside. The flame inside burned brightly, sending a warm glow across the village path. People passing by noticed it, and soon, it became a guiding light for travelers in the dark. Inside the cottage, Lumi's flame was now weak. Her wax had melted down to almost nothing. She felt herself growing tired, but instead of letting her burn out completely, Thomas gently blew out her flame and picked up her small, waxy stub. He smiled at her softly. "You have given enough, little one," he said, "but I won't let you be forgotten." He opened a beautiful glass cabinet near the window where soft moonlight streamed in. Inside, there were a few old treasures, things Thomas cherished. He placed Lumi gently on a small wooden stand inside. Now, from her place in the glass cabinet, Lumi could still see the world outside. The lantern's warm glow reflected off the glass, making her shimmer like a tiny star in the night. She could see Thomas and Eli sitting by the fire, their faces filled with happiness. She could see travelers pausing by the lantern, smiling as they found their way in the darkness. And though she could no longer shine with her own flame, Lumi realized something beautiful. Her light had never truly gone out. It had simply found new ways to brighten the world. She sat proudly in her glass cabinet, glowing softly in the lantern's warmth, forever a part of the light that guided others home. Moral: even the smallest light can brighten someone's darkness. Kindness, no matter how small, can spread and shine forever. The end.